Welcome to this edition of the Delmarva Almanac and Arts and Times, Delmarva's quarterly arts magazine and community calendar. I'm Dana Kester McCabe. Tony Townsend is a photographer from Ocean City, Maryland, who captures the drama and beauty of scenes he visits throughout his travels. Two tragic events in his life set him on the path of becoming a photographer.
I started off when I was around 20, just kind of going around with a point and shoot, just taking pictures of friends or whatever, and then when I was by myself, I'd just take some landscape shots. I had one of my friends was looking through my photos the one day, separated all the landscape ones, put them aside by themselves, and he was big into art, and kept telling me, he was like, man, you really have an eye for this, you should do something with it. And I just didn't really see anything, it was just kind of something I did just for fun or whatever. And then in 2006, he passed away, and it just got me, next time I was going through my photos, it got me thinking about that. So I kind of looked at him again, and I was like, you know what, I think he's actually onto something. I should get into this. So from there, I started getting a lot bigger into it, but just kind of as a hobby.
Tony decided to go to school to become an automotive mechanic in order to have a steady day job and pursue photography separately. But in 2012, his younger brother passed away unexpectedly.
He never made excuses on anything. He was just like, follow your dreams, go for it. He went all over the country, hitchhiked all over, everything. So it got me thinking, number one, not only like he was only 23 when he passed, but he saw more than most people see in their entire lives. And then it got me really looking at my own life, thinking, how many things have I passed up just making these excuses? Because it's so easy to like your dreams, like, oh, I'll do it after I do this, or I'll do it after I do this, or after my kids are done school, or after I retire, or whatever. And it's made me really think about it. It's like, you don't know that you have that time. So from there, ever since I was a kid, I wanted to do like a big cross-country journey. So from there, I just decided, it was like, okay, no more excuses, I'm going to do that. So I planned out a trip. It was 6 months, 23,000 miles across 33 states and then Canada and Mexico, with the plan to be able to take all those pictures and then start selling them. So I have a website up, TonyTownsendPhotography.com, and mostly I just sell through there. I want to start getting into stock imaging, but I saw that they don't allow you to resize your photos, and I resized all of mine for print. So I've got to go back all the way back to the beginning and set them back up for that. So that's my next project, is get all that done. And so now since then, that's been my primary goal, is just trying to actually live those dreams, stop making those excuses. I mean, it's a long road, but I think I'm a lot more happy now doing what I actually want to do instead of just what's stable. I actually have a tattoo on my wrist that says WWND, what would Nick do? It was my brother's name. It's just kind of like my own personal reminder of like Carpe Diem, just make sure you're living your life, not just existing.
Tony's photographs are high contrast with extreme darks and highlights. Sometimes the colors have an eerie, otherworldly cast. This is not a detriment. Rather, this artistic license gives them a powerful emotional quality.
Well, it's funny actually with the colors, I'm completely colorblind. So I can't really differentiate when shades get close, like a blue or purple or red or orange, like that, I can't really differentiate. So I think that probably plays some part into it. But as far as the processing, I do generally, in RAW, I'll generally boost the saturation a little bit, I'll boost the clarity a little bit, and the vibrance.
Tony likes to show the grandeur of a scene, particularly when traveling to places in the American Southwest.
I always try to interpret more of what I'm seeing and show that. I think that's kind of what the artist's job is, really. So, and just the feelings I got when I was down there, just you look up and there's just these enormous rock formations everywhere and all that. So just trying to convey that into an image, I think, is the biggest thing.
Tony uses software to digitally enhance his images, much the way photographic masters like Ansel Adams used such techniques in the darkroom to raise the level of artistry in their photographs.
I really like doing long-time exposures with the water. Anything where like get that smooth, like silky effect with the waves and all that. Those are by far my favorite. I really don't actually do too many daytime photos around here, unless by off chance I happen to wake up for the sunrise, but that doesn't happen very often. So I think that's probably by far my favorite around here, is just doing the slow shutters with the water. So like Sunset Park, that's one of my favorite spots to shoot, down just down by the Coast Guard off of Philadelphia Avenue. And then under the pier also, because with the long time exposures you need less light obviously, so under the pier it can kind of stay in the shadows and get it to stay open a little longer.
Tony is completely self-taught.
That's one thing I love about photography, is there's so much to learn. Like, I just about 2 years ago finally started really learning how to use white balance and all that, and like metering is still something that I really don't know anything about, and I should, so it's like I still have a lot to learn as well. But I do spend a lot of time on digitalphotographyschool.com is probably the one site I go to the most. They have a lot of really good tutorials and real good in putting in layman terms what everything does, why you use certain settings, which things you would use them for, all that. But that's pretty much it. All just reading online and then experimenting. Just the nice thing about digital is you can experiment without costing yourself a fortune.
Tony hopes to do another cross-country tour, mostly living close to the land.
Probably about 80% is probably camping. Probably about 80% camping, and then probably 17% motels, or sorry, sleeping in the car, and then about 3% motels. Yeah, I want to go up to New England because that's one of the only parts of the country I haven't been to yet. I haven't been past New York City as far as the Northeast. But then the only problem with that too is it kind of takes you so far out of the way of everything else. But I'd like to go up to New England and then make my way down south and just go across from the south and then up the west coast again. Just kind of catch some of the things that I missed last time and then spend some more time at some places that I didn't get to so much last time. Like Canyonlands in Utah is one of the big ones. Like that park is enormous and we only spent 3 days there, so to go back to some places like that and spend a little more time as well.
Throughout his travels, Tony will try to photograph his impression of scenic majesty, no matter where he finds it.
I have the belief, like, you can find beauty in anything. Like, whether it's a wall covered in graffiti, or if it's some amazing new skyscraper, or a canyon, or whatever. So I just try to find that, and then share that. And I get a lot of people say, like, you make this place look like it's this great place, but it's really ugly, or whatever. And it's like, well, it really depends on how you look at it. I mean, if you look at it as it's ugly, then that's what you're going to see. But it's just a matter of how I'm looking at it, and I try to convey that into the image, pretty much. I want to be able to inspire people to travel more. That's my number one thing. And I've had quite a few people that have said that I've inspired them to go see things, and that's great. The ones that kind of get me are the ones where they're like, I don't have to travel because I can look at your photos. And I'm like, no, that's not what I'm trying to do. Like, I want you to go see those things. So it's like I'm very thankful that they admire the photos in that way, but I think my primary goal is to get other people to go out and see more, because there's so much of the world that nobody ever even knows. And I've always liked to quote from St. Augustine. He said, the world is a book, and those who do not travel only read a page.
You can find out about purchasing Tony's work at his website, TonyTownsendPhotography.com. This video is sponsored by Worcester County Tourism. Visit the beach and beyond. Thank you for watching. This has been a Moonshell production.